Look, she nods. Anyway, I want to say a happy, I think it's Thursday, to everybody. My name is Karen Stahlberg, and I am the director of the HILS Online program. I'm also an OBGYN originally by training, and I have a master's in higher education, and I'm in the Department of Learning Health Sciences. We can talk more about how I got here later, but I want to introduce two more people to you, Angie and then Kathy.
Hi, I'm Angie Sullivan. I'm the HILS Online Program Manager. Welcome, everyone. It's good to see everyone on the call.
Kathy, go for it.
Yeah. I'm Kathy Enox. I am a current HILS Online student that just started this semester, but attended one of these sessions a year ago.
Yeah. And we have not paid her to be here. She has volunteered her time of her own volition. So just want that out there. So the plan is for us to do a little bit of a presentation complete with slides and all, and then we'll be happy to answer any questions. Just so you know, the content from this presentation will be distributed to you later by Angie. And if you have questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat. But like I said, we will definitely have time for questions as we go. Okay. All right. Diving in. Now, this is the hardest part of the presentation because this is about the share screen, which I think I have done successfy. Is that a true statement?
Yep.
Fantastic. So then when you share screen, you know, you can't see people. So I apologize in advance. So the reason why we're all here today is to talk about the Health Infrastructures and Learning Systems Online Degree Program. We call it HILS, H-I-L-S, and it's really a program that's meant to help individuals basically skill up to start to lead, change, and transform health. The very important thing is that we're a unique degree program. There are no programs like us anywhere, which is cool and also a little hard because people are like, well, what does this mean? What do I do, right? So the way to think about it is that this is a joint emphasis, not only on information science, but also social science, all through a lens of organizational change, really focused on improving the health of individuals and populations. So the goal for folks who take this degree program and finish, as we hope you will, we expect, is that you'll develop your skills as a leader and as a professional in learning health systems, as well as implementation science. So really being able to create the innovative solutions that are going to change and transform healthcare and really deal with those sort of big, hairy, audacious problems that we all kind of just scratch our head about, right? What's nice about this degree program, and one of the things that we really want to make sure we emphasize, is that this is a full University of Michigan Master of Science degree program with all of the rigor as well as rights and privileges that come with being a Michigan student. What's nice is that we started this thinking about, boy, you know, you could get this done in a year if you wanted to. What we're finding is that as our students are also in a working environment, that trying to complete in a year may be a stretch. And so there is definitely option and opportunity to do this in 2 to 3 years as a part-time student. The other nice thing is that you can stay where you are generally. So we only require a few in-person institutes on the Ann Arbor campus. And so a lot of folks then are able to continue to work without moving their families or themselves to Ann Arbor, although it's a great place to be. So a couple of amazing, every time we look at this map, it gets sort of more blue, which is cool, where our HILS students hail from. So one thing that full disclosure is that the online degree program is actually for United States residents only. So you have to be in the United States. We can't do international students, although our PhD students, also in the same program, are from outside the United States. But as you can see, because it's an online degree program, we have folks from all over the country. And one of our learners this year is from Alaska. So I think we need to recruit from Hawaii, just saying, just so that we can get the whole thing. We don't have Puerto Rico on the map. That's next. Okay. So who's in Who's in HILS? Well, folks just like you, right? So health science professionals, health information experts, people with expertise in computing and computer infrastructure, engineers, behavioral and social scientists, as well as people really interested in organization and policy and change, really. So this is our current cohort, or some of them, because not everybody was able to be at the Institute. We've got a couple of docs, a few nurses, technical business analyst. We have a medical student with us who is taking sort of a gap year to think about how to improve healthcare access in humanitarian settings. And we have a medical sales representative who's thinking about implementation of evidence-based algorithms within the electronic health system. So just lots of diversity, right, of both thought and expertise and focus, which is what this degree program is about. The crows are here, I'm sorry. So when we talk about learning health systems, we really focus on sort of the work of a learning health system, which is this learning cycle, as we have called it. Sometimes you'll hear us call it the loop. But basically what happens is there's a learning community that sort of focuses around a health problem of interest. Many of our folks right now are thinking about like out of hospital cardiac arrest or self-management for diabetes, or genomics around cancer treatment. And then the activities around this loop are performance to data, taking that data and learning from it, creating knowledge, creating evidence-based interventions or practices, and then putting that knowledge into performance through implementation science and kind of seeing how that whole thing fits together. So if we were to do some deep dive, right, if you overlaid an infrastructure on top of that, you'd see things like technology for capturing practice change, how to support learning communities, what are the ethics and policies around data use, how do we share knowledge or represent the knowledge so that end users like me on the other end of an electronic health record can benefit from whatever magic is running in the background to tell me about best practices. How do we implement best practices, right? Many of us have been on the receiving end of great ideas with not great execution. And that means that it doesn't really get taken up. There's not persistence in our environment, and really healthcare change doesn't happen. And so how do we combine all of these things to get a healthcare learning system to learn from its activities, put them into action, and then sustain that action? So basically all of the classes in the health infrastructures and learning systems degree program touch on all of those different colors, if you will, in the loop. So much like our online degree program has no classrooms, I'm showing you a picture of our Taubman Health Science Library that currently has no books because everything really has been digitized. And this building is where we do our institutes, where we have the ability to bring, come together as a community and just really nice place and space on campus. The Master of Science degree program is a 27 credit credit hour degree program. It also requires the completion of a learning cycle project, and you will obtain a Master of Science degree from the University of Michigan Medical School, as well as Rackham, which is our graduate program. So again, true Michigan alum when you're finished with the degree program. I know some people are like, well, that's not a good thing, but it really is. So what's nice about this program is that we have purposefully made it so that it's an asynchronous learning opportunity with synchronous options for class projects, mentoring, connection with your colleagues. So what that means is that you don't have to show up Tuesdays from 2 to 5 p.m. To be in class. All of the content is actually delivered through a Canvas learning management system. We release the content for each course, basically every Sunday, for each module, and you work through the modules week by week. You have the ability to review challenging lectures repeatedly. There's resources online. You can check in and chat with your colleagues. But the really important thing that I want to highlight is that you can really count on 8 to 10 hours per week per course. So if you figure if you take 4 courses, that's 40 hours of work on top of whatever work you're actually doing. So what we've realized is that I really want to make sure we emphasize that this is a rigorous program, like it's a full degree program. And so that's why I think a lot of people are choosing to do part-time, because if you did 2 classes a week, that would probably be about 20 hours a week. And I'm sure Kathy can speak to that when I'm done yapping at you. The other thing that's really cool is that many of the faculty in the Department of Learning Health Sciences also have experience in the online degree world, as well as the massive open online courses. So one of the faculty, Vinod Vidaswaran, is actually pretty famous in Coursera land, and he has just published a new free course called Information Extraction from Free Text Data in Health. So basically it's natural language processing from clinic notes. That's like an easy way to say it. You can check that course out for free, and it actually gives you sort of a flavor of what these courses are like in this degree program. This is basically what the interface looks like when you sign into Canvas. So everything is online and organized in this arena. There's introduction to the courses through course videos, recorded lectures. We do overviews of modules, a gazillion reading assignments, discussions, you name it. Every single course actually has their own way of transmitting information and helping you engage with the information. And so Ann Sales, pictured here, who is now at the University of Missouri as a leader there, but started our degree program and is sort of well-known nationally and internationally in implementation science. Basically, you know, sort of sets the bar a little high about what the expectations for the program are. But it's stuff that people don't learn and aren't learning. And it's an opportunity for you to skill up and really become a leader in your environment around things that everybody's sort of buzzing about, but don't necessarily know how to manage. So the way things are organized, if you're doing sort of things in 1 year, then in the fall term, you're going to think about your learning cycle project. You're going to meet with your advisor, kind of get your ideas together. In the winter term, we'll all kind of help one another refine the project proposal, getting IRB approval. Spring, summer, we will have a course together that I teach in terms of doing the capstone course. And then we'll be able to kind of execute your projects, reflect on your experiences. Sometimes we'll get results. We might not always get results. And that's like the beauty of research, right? But this is really meant to be a practical way to apply the things that you've been learning in the class to the real world. So this is an example of one of those learning cycle projects from, we have to change it, Angie, from Rama Munyesi. At the time he did this, he was a HILS PhD candidate. He has now successfully graduated as Dr. Munyesi and will be joining us as faculty, actually. But Rama's work, he is actually at the time was a Michigan Medicine employee who was working in the operating room and was very interested in retained surgical instruments. That's what RSI is. So for the surgeons on the call, sadly, if your counts aren't correct, that might mean you've left a sponge or an instrument or something behind. And so what he wanted to understand is like, why is this happening? Why aren't we getting the reports that we should be getting? Because when you look at the data, there was a 73% rate of underreporting. And so he wanted to identify those barriers to reporting and then figure out a way to create intervention to number one, fix the reporting, which number two, hopefully would decrease retained surgical instruments. So those are the types of things that we do over the summer. A graduate in 2021 from the program, and Catherine was in the residential program, because the HILS Online program just came on board last year. So for those of you looking to apply for this coming fall, you will be team 3 in HILS Online. So the course sequence, just kind of showing you how things might play out. Like I said, if you're going full time, that's 4 courses, which is a pretty heavy load. We have an institute in August where we do orientation and on days, 3 days on campus. We'll have another institute in February and in June, again, to help support you through thinking about your learning project, applying the information that you're learning in classes. We like to have fun, and so we're a pretty good community. So we usually find things to do that are outside of the classroom together as well. If you're thinking about 2 years, then this is how we would spread that out for you. The numbers of the courses that you see there are suggestions. There's not any specific sequencing per se, but we do want you to recognize that certain courses are only offered in fall or winter terms. And so when you are talking to your advisor, we can talk with you about, boy, how should you sequence this? What might you want to do this fall as opposed to next fall, that kind of thing. So the, like I said, the courses are arranged around that learning loop, basically. This is an image of Gretchen Pyatt in the center with the black glasses, who is our grad chair for the HILS program and also the associate chair in the department. Rama's actually to her right. And some other folks around the table have actually all graduated, it seems, now that I look at those pictures. Anyway, so the courses are health infrastructures and policy. We also talk about implementation science, which is basically how to get things done, right? A ton of data science in the best ways, right? So how to think about data, how to understand how the data is represented, how to use that data to for good, not evil. You can see our chair, Chuck Friedman there, who sort of idea this whole learning health systems and science has been. And then thinking about research methods, not necessarily for being a PhD, but really to work the data in your environment and get actionable information from it. Grace Hahn, PharmD, so she's like a doctor and an MS now, chose HILS because she sees it as the future. And she was really interested in the implementation science component. When we have our institutes, we bring everyone together because we want people to feel a part of not only the department, but also the HILS community. And so that's why those institutes are required. What we do is we reinforce current coursework, we provide mentoring and networking opportunities, and then we really make it an active learning session for skill development, one-on-one mentoring, socialization. Like I said, we like to have fun. So the goal here is to bring in folks who really want to lead and change and transform health, thinking it through the lens of a learning health system. And the way we think about our graduates is that you'll be improvement and implementation leaders in complex healthcare systems using data to better health. So what types of careers are available? Well, the great news is that I think the sky is wide open, right? The challenge with that is sort of people don't necessarily see a quick connection. However, we've had graduates who have become leaders in their own learning health system organizations. They are quality improvement experts. They have changed the data structures in their environment and have become analysts. We have a few representatives on the call from organizations that have had individuals come through the degree program. So I would love it if you all might want to comment or ask questions or sort of say, hey, yeah, my colleague did this and that's why I'm here. We've talked about where folks are. Be very careful because we do rope a few in to continue on as PhD candidates. So Angie, am I right? This is you now.
You got it right. Yep. Thank you,
Yes,
Salver.
only after a million times.
Yes, I'll give you a little break from talking. So I'm going to cover a few of the student services side of things. So to begin with advising. So students are paired with a faculty advisor who will have live office hours, typically via Zoom, or you can contact them via email. They're really free to meet really anytime. And I did want to note that you're going to be taught and mentored by the same faculty who teach in the residential program. So for example, pictured here is Dr. Rachel Richardson at our HILS online orientation session 2 years ago in August. She's a professor in a department and she conducts research on the quality and usability of data from electronic health records. And she's advising one of our new HILS online learners who has an interest in learning health systems to improve patient outcomes. And you'll also have easy access to me as a program manager through email, individual and group Zoom meetings, the HILS online community page in Canvas, which is the platform you'll be using for your coursework. And there's a variety of ways to get in contact with me and Dr. Stahlberg. And then the one thing I did want to point out is that even though this is an online program, you'll be supported by real people such as myself and Dr. Stahlberg and the other faculty, as we really want to give you the full learning experience as a Michigan student. So being in our online program, you'll have access to an abundant variety of student support services, such as the Rackham Graduate School, which has student communities such as students with disabilities, LGBTQ plus students, health and well-being resources. And then the Office of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies, it overlaps somewhat with what Rackham offers for resources, such as health and wellness, diversity, equity, and inclusion resources. And then you'll also have access to other university resources, such as counseling and psychological services, the Taubman Health Library, Sciences Library, in addition to all the other libraries on campus, students of color of Rackham, and listed here are just a few of those resources. So tuition information is based on the 2022-2023 academic year. So please note that tuition and fees often change each year. So again, this is what the fees were for this year. So typically a student is going to take between 6 to 12 hours, 6 hours being part-time and 9 or more is considered full-time. So for example, if you're a part-time student, you're a Michigan resident, your tuition is $8,567. And if you're a non-resident taking 6 hours, which is part-time, it's $17,333. So for full-time, 9 hours plus tuition is $12,758 for Michigan residents, and it's $25,907 for a non-resident, and that's per term. So there are also mandatory fees assessed each term, and you'll see here, it's like registration fee, central government fee, and that's for around $166 each term. So we wanted to break it down for you even further. So if you were to complete the program in 1 year, this is what it would look like. So that first semester, which would be fall, as a Michigan resident, $12,758. That second semester, winter term, $12,758. And then the spring summer term is $4,376, giving you an estimated total of around $29,892. And then as a non-Michigan resident, that first semester fall term is $25,907. That winter term, second semester, $25,907. And then that spring summer term is $8,759. So that estimated total for that year is $60,573. And again, this is based on 2022-2023 data, and that's subject to change. And then some additional expenses you'll want to consider, some technology needs, study materials, usual stuff, textbooks, notebooks, and also most of our textbooks are available for free either online or through the library. And so also the high-speed internet service is, you'll need that, computer equipment and software, and what's recommended university-wide is a webcam, RAM of 4 gigabytes, microphone, headphones, compatible browsers, and then those additional expenses will be for travel like Dr. Stahlberg mentioned, because students are required to come to attend the in-person institutes 3 times during the program. And application requirements, we require a bachelor's degree with 1 statistics class, personal and academic statement of purpose, a resume or CV, transcripts, 3 letters of recommendation. And for these letters, you'll want to choose people who know you well and those that can provide an evaluation of your ability to perform and succeed at the graduate level. And often that might include a manager or supervisor from school or work. And if possible, at least 1 letter should be submitted from a past or current professor or advisor or someone who's advised you in a job or an internship. And note that we no longer require the GRE. So some tips for your statements, starting with your academic statement. So this is where you'll want to discuss your primary research area of interest. You'll want to reach out to potential advisors, 2 to 3 HILS faculty and introduce yourself and discuss the potential fit to our program. And you'll want to do this before completing your academic statement of purpose. And you can read about each of our faculty on our website, and then to choose ones that perhaps are doing research or teach in an area of interest to you. And then in that statement, you want to explain why you identified those potential advisors and interactions you had with them. And in addition, you'll want to describe your understanding of learning health systems, what interests you about them, describe any prior research experiences or courses or projects that have prepared you for graduate study. And all this is covered in the actual application, so you don't need to remember it right now. So then with your personal statement, this is different than your academic statement. And this is where you'll get the opportunity to explain how your background and life experiences, other opportunities or challenges motivate your decision to pursue a graduate degree at the University of Michigan. And so it should be more of a discussion of your journey that led to your decision to seek a graduate degree. And you just want to make sure that you do not repeat your academic statement of purpose here. And then we have some resources on learning health systems that can help with your applications. And I'll send these to you in an email after the session, in addition to this PowerPoint presentation. So to begin with, we have a couple of journal articles. The first one, Development of Learning Health System Research Core Competencies. And this journal article discusses how the core competencies for learning health systems were developed. And then next is a journal article written by the chair of the department, Dr. Chuck Friedman, and Josh Rubin, who's a program officer in our department. Weaving together a healthcare improvement tapestry, learning health system brings together health IT data stakeholders to share knowledge and improve health. So you'll definitely want to be sure to check out that one. And then in addition, a website link to the Learning Health Systems Open Access Journal. And this is an open access journal that is freely available to read and download. And then last is the Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality Learning Systems website, AHRQ. And this is an agency that funds LHS researchers. And you can go here to learn about different types of research that is funded by the agency. So again, I'll be sending you all these resources. And some application tips. Be sure to proofread your statement carefully. Ask a friend, a mentor to review it. Just paying attention to those, typographical errors, grammar, punctuation, and just overall clarity. And then submit all your materials in a timely manner to prevent the delay of reviewing your application. So to apply, we are a Rackham graduate program. So you'll apply through the Rackham Graduate School website. You'll complete their online application found on their website or on our website. It links directly to the application as well. On the site, you can upload all your materials in addition to sending them directly to us if you need to at any time. We have 2 deadlines. The first is February 1st, and applicants who apply by this deadline are eligible for priority scholarships. And the scholarships are merit-based and candidates are reviewed holistically by the admissions committee. So you want to get your applications in early by that deadline. And then June 1st is the final deadline to apply. And there are fees to apply. If you're a Rackham student, it's $10. Non-Rackham students, it's $75. And we do have fee waivers available. So reach out to me if you're interested in obtaining a fee waiver. And then the application timeline is we aim to notify applicants 6 to 8 weeks after the receipt of the application. So again, please get those applications in early. And then for transfer credit, at this time, we're not allowing credits to be transferred. However, if you've taken a course that is equivalent to a required course for the program, we may be able to review options for substitute electives or other course options. And then last, this is our contact information along with our website. You can find a lot of information on our website that we covered today. In addition, feel free to reach out to Dr. Stahlberg or myself with questions at any time. So at this time, we would like to thank everyone for coming and open it up for questions.
Fantastic. Hi, I can see you guys again. Kathy, do you want to jump in real quick, simply just to give your sense or add anything we might have missed as one of our current students?
Sure. It's a pretty comprehensive presentation. I do think, I didn't have a statistics class in my undergrad, and so I had to do that. And Angie and Dr. Stahlberg helped me figure out what class to take and how and where. And so that was super helpful and fairly easy to do. And then I think the other thing is I'm actually taking one class a semester given my work and family life. And so it will take me a little bit longer, but I also wanted to start out with one given my situation and see where I go from there. That doesn't mean I won't add two in the future, but that is also an option, which I think has helped me not be so overwhelmed with the idea of going back to school after 15 years. I'm not sure if I have anything else to add.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Tracy, I think you wanted to.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Dr. Stahlberg and Angie. What a great presentation. And Kathy, that was really helpful insight. I work full time. I have 2 elementary school age children. So this program, and I do population health work at Pfizer. So I don't even know how I came across this program. And my undergrad is from Michigan, but from the business school. And I was looking into MPH programs, and then I saw this. And I thought, gosh, this really fits in. But I mean, my biggest fear is fitting everything in and the workload and time. So I was going to ask, because I noticed part-time could be 2 to 3 years, and if it was okay, and it sounds like it is, to take one class at times to.
I would also add that, my experience thus far and in hearing from the faculty is they want you to succeed. And they're gonna help you do so, providing you with resources. Online learning is difficult because of the asynchronous nature, and discussions are had on discussion boards, but sometimes you just need that in-person conversation, and they will hold office hours special for you. They'll set up office hours for the whole class if your class decides that. Actually, this week, a few of the students and I were talking about some challenges we were having in understanding the content. And so one reached out for office hours and the rest of us joined, and we ended up with a mini lecture that lasted an hour, in an evening one night, just kind of spontaneously, and all helped us to be able to submit our assignment this week. So they really want to work with you. And I feel like I've heard from other students who've been here longer than I, that they feel the same way.
Yeah. And I definitely want to, it gets to the, this is a Michigan degree, right? We're not here to be a diploma mill. We don't want 100 students, that's not the goal.
Yeah.
The goal is really to, admit the right student, right? Who sort of has the understanding and experience of learning health systems, who really is trying to sort of solve problems by using data that we have in the environment, and by learning new sciences and new skills to disseminate that information, to make change, to measure change, so that we can really kind of keep the momentum of learning and changing, right? And so the difference between an MPH or, you know, a health services, you know, degree is really that implementation piece, that like making change, right?
Yeah.
The improvement component. You know, we talk about research, and our research in this program is really that summer learning project, but more so than, you know, getting grants. Like the PhD students do that. That's great. But really, to me, it's about a mindset, about asking questions, being methodical about trying to figure out how to answer those questions, learning skill sets to get the data and understand the data, and then represent it to people who are decision makers in your environment, so that then you can make that change. So that's really how we think about it.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. Please, anybody jump in. No question's a silly question. Oh, hi, Janelle. There's Janelle. Janelle is also a student. Janelle, you want to say a quick hello and introduce yourself?
Sure. I apologize for my delay. I am Janelle Wheeler, and I am on what I call the turtle pace for the program. Taking it in my own time. I work for a law firm as a healthcare planning specialist. And so I previously worked at Michigan Medicine in the breast care program and did program management there. So I do have an interest in certainly the provider-patient relationship, direct care, but I also have an interest in policy and regulatory management of healthcare. So yeah, so that's me.
Yeah, and so that's it's great that you guys are both on. So Kathy, can you tell folks what you do in your like real life?
Sure. So I am the cystic fibrosis program coordinator for the pediatric program at Mott Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor at U of M. And I am a nurse and used to answer the phones for the pulmonary clinic, used to work on a med-surg floor at Mott. But now I'm completely administrative. I don't actually see patients and help to manage our CF program, working a lot with quality improvement. And we have a role in a national cystic fibrosis learning network as well. And so I'm really interested in getting more involved there, which is part of why this program was so appealing to me, because it kind of lines up with where I want to go with my career and differences I want to make in the cystic fibrosis world. I did want to add about advisors. For me, it was extremely intimidating to go to this page, look at all the advisors, read their bios, try to find one that would match me, and then contact them and speak to them. And so I did take a long time to look through them, narrow it down, look through it again, take that and narrow it down. And my interactions with my advisor thus far have been wonderful. Because I selected an area of interest, which is EMR integration sort of things, my advisor has had some really great discussions with projects I'm currently working on at my job and helping me, number one, expand there. So just for my own work, he's actually helping me. But then also thinking about how I might be able to apply, you know, and use the things that I'm working on at work to the summer learning project, and how, you know, potentially I can have those kind of cross and use what I'm learning in the program to better the work that I'm doing in my clinic.
Other questions? You learn this when you go to school to become a teacher, this wait time. I will say no. But so I actually did go back to school, right? Talking about having been out of school for 15 years. So I like finished my OBGYN residency, was already a practicing clinician. And then I thought, I know, I'll go back to school and pay tuition. That's a great idea. And so I went to our School of Education here at Michigan. I took a 20% reduction in my clinical activities and paid full tuition. And the best thing I ever did. but Rackham called me a chronologically advanced student because I was, with students who were 22 years old, which was kind of cool. But my point in bringing up that story is that it is different being a grad student when you've been away. And there are a ton of supports for that. Many of us have done that and understand like professional school person. And so we want to set up, a sort of, it's a scaffold. It's not really a safety net because you're not going to fall, you're not going to fail, but really sort of these, like if you're a climber, you've got all your things available to you, your ropes and your clickers and everything, so that you're just safe as you go. That's our goal.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been 20 years for me, so a little more, 22.
Yeah. I think the hardest part is the cadence, is just the volume of remembering like all the stuff you have to read and, the assignments and when they're due and how to write a paper again. And so we have built in resources. So we have the Sweetland Writing Center, which can help people, think about how do I write a paper, remind me what scientific writing looks like in the, your opening paragraph and like, what are you trying to say? And then the next paragraph, like literally nuts and bolts. We just have worked through the office of, I just use Alphabet Soup. It's just easier, sorry, but OGPS, which is through the medical school, has actually created these 6 online modules with our experts in statistics to just kind of help remind people about how to do statistical analyses. Kathy or Janelle, have you guys been to that first CSCAR one yet? Okay.
Not this year. I went last year in the spring and found it really, really helpful. It's live. And so it's live, and which is good if you're able to make it and you can like ask questions and say, so I think I remember it's like this, or what does this mean? Or, just as he's going through, or I don't know if they've changed who's doing it, are going through examples, but they also record it. And so at least they did in the spring. And so you back and like rewatch, or if you signed up for the series and you can't make all of them, you can rewatch the one that you miss or whatever. But I had fairly recently taken a 500 level stats course, but I still really found the review helpful and like solidify how I was going to think about things for my summer project, which I've not done yet, but is percolating in my head. And so doing some of those planning kinds of pieces, it was really helpful.
Yeah, I did want to mention too that of course that Dr. Stahlberg was talking about is it's offered while you're in the program. But if you've been out for 22 years, then, like during this time, you could look into I can give you a list of statistics classes to consider, but you can also take something at a local community college. And if you have questions about the course before you take it, you can reach out to me and I can get back to you if that's an appropriate course.
Yeah, I did take a statistics class in the business school, but does that not count because it's so long ago?
We tend to, we would ask for the syllabus to see.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no worries.
Some of it is muscle memory, So a lot of people just like a refresher. Even we have some courses on Coursera, like we don't get paid. Like I'm not making money there for sure. But we have some other online courses that would provide the content and also give you a sense of like what it feels like to be doing an online class. So that's why I recommend those online activities, because it sort of mimics what you might be doing, when you're in the degree program.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
I will say I did do the statistics Coursera course, and it was cheap or free. I don't remember which, but
probably free because you got a UMich address, but it's cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it did open my eyes to what I needed to prepare for to apply. And it didn't deter me, but it helped me to set up my support system in a way that would help me through this program.
The other thing we do, because we're, again, very student-centered, I think we try to be, like, that's really the goal. And we keep, thanks, Janelle, and we keep learning, right? Team 1, team 2, we're like, keep going. So we have an onboarding course, like, that's in Canvas as well, again, to help you understand how to navigate through Canvas, show you where all the, like, Easter eggs, if you're a gamer, are buried, sort of show you, like, just how to work through the university kind of thing. So that, again, the goal is not to, I mean, it might feel like it just because we can't help it, but like, we're not trying to throw you in the deep end of the pool with the sharks. Like, we're trying to put at least a barrier there. So I used to joke that as an intern, they threw you in to the deep end with the sharks and then held you down. Don't go to medical school. I'm sorry. Are there any physicians on this call right now? I should be careful. I know nobody's going to admit, right? Medical school is better now. I grew up when there were no work hour restrictions. It was just,
Yeah.
Only way I knew it was a new day is the nurses had new earrings in, swear to God, because I hadn't gone home. Right, Kathy? That's true. Please, any other questions? I know we're getting close to time and I want to be respectful of everyone's time. I'm really grateful in your interest. Obviously, Angie's going to be in touch. And if you have more questions, please reach out to us. Happy to meet one-on-one with people if that's easier. If you're, happier to send an email or get clarifying questions, whatever you need, again, our goal is to, change the world. But we need you to do it. So that's the plan.
Sounds good. Well, thank you. What a great program, by the way. Really unique and innovative. That's awesome. So thanks.
Yeah, thank you for your interest.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. Well, we'll
even
get back. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, even though we're really kind of far flung, so in group 1, we had someone from Florida and someone from Massachusetts. And then in group 2, we have, I think the winner is a student from Alaska. So we're like really kind of wide. We have a really robust discussion kind of center that we get through online kind of chatting, and people are, answering questions and, I'm depending on what class you're in, there's like little student run discussions for each of the classes. And so people can study together times, or if something doesn't make sense, who should I ask about this? And so we really, that combined with the on-campus institutes for the people that are, far flung, that aren't right here locally, I think from what I've heard from everyone, has created just a really good feel for having a student class, right? For feeling like, hey, I can pick up the phone and call, Engers in Florida and say, hey, I've run into this thing. Can I talk to you about it? Even though he's graduated. And like, we're really close on, social media at this point, and, professionally, and just chit chatting. And so I would say that this program in particular has done a really good job of making that feeling of a unified class.
That's awesome to hear. Thank you. Because, we, the faculty and Angie, we're not on those channels. So those are all student-driven, student-run back channels. I try not to get chest pain over them. But what's really great to hear, right? It's the right thing to do. You guys need a safe space in place to support one another and bubble up issues. It's really been great because people feel comfortable to ping us and say, hey, their settings are wrong. Can you fix the settings? Or, hey, we'd really like this instead of that, right? So we do, as a program, within the first 5 weeks, actually ask for feedback so that we can make improvements. And then we continue to ask for feedback, and we've asked our graduates for feedback. It's not personal, it's really about improving the degree program. We're the first degree program in Rackham that's online and also online in the medical school. So we're kind of crazy trailblazers. On campus, there are only, at the University of Michigan, there are only 5 degrees, I think, that are online through the School of Information, Social Work, the Business School, and Public Health. And so all of those degree programs are through a school. We're like the little lean and mighty ones in a department. So we want to improve and do the right things, both pedagogically and also professionally and for our learners. So my other colleagues are tired of me talking about that because they just want to teach their course. But I'm like, no, we need it this way.
And for real, changes happen, like from one semester to the next. They hear, and I think I was in class 1, and we had some really vocal folks in class 1, which is great. And like changes happened. And so coming back this year, things are different. So, it's not just like, oh, give us your feedback and we'll file it, down here somewhere and think about it in 10 years. Like it really is live in real time.
Yeah, and you'll notice some of the courses, not the content, but just how they're organized for winter, this coming winter. We're gonna add some things to help it be easier for learners. That's cool. I know you're like, what? Who says that? No one ever. Even my course. So I taught a course for the first time, and I teach the capstone course. So LHS 622, which is your summer learning project course. So I ran it the first time this past spring, summer. And it went well. It can be a lot better. And so I'm going to be reworking that and changing it up so that it makes more sense, so that we, people gave really good feedback about where assignments should or shouldn't be, and how to kind of integrate the summer learning project into the course content a little bit better. So that's on my to-do list for the winter, but I think it's the right thing. It's, it was great feedback. It was kind of what was percolating in my head anyway, but I wasn't sure, and so then to have learners say, you should do that, that's empowered me now. So at least I don't have to throw it all up like 52 pickup, All right, well, we are going to call this, but Angie and I will hang back because, sometimes there's always folks who want to just wait till the classroom empties out. So we'll stay till 5 if people have any questions or want to, ask things more privately. But again, thank you for being here. Thank you for your interest. Please reach out. Let us know how we can help or clarify whatever you need. And thank you, Kathy and Janelle, for live time. Appreciate you both.
They don't even pay us to do this or anything.
Right?
We just show up because we like it.
Thank you so much. All right, go blue. Thanks.
Go
Bye.
blue.
Dr. Stahlberg and Angela and Kathy, hey, thank you for that amazing insight on the program. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks. It's Bobby, yes?
Yes, my name is Bobby. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I do have a few questions. First and foremost, so I grew up in the state of Michigan, but I haven't lived there for almost 6-7 years. And I know how prestigious U of M is, the Ann Arbor location. So with this degree in particular, this isn't like University of Michigan Dearborn, University of Michigan Flint. It's strictly the University of Michigan Ann Arbor campus. Okay, perfect. Secondly, the 3 times meeting up, is that all at once in the beginning of the program, or will that 3 times meeting up be periodically throughout the program as it goes on?
Yeah, we spread that out. So we start
Okay.
with the orientation, and then we meet again in sort of the early part of the winter term, so
Okay.
February-ish. And then we will do a June meeting. This past year, we did it for like everyone, which went great.
Okay.
And we focused a lot on the summer learning project stuff. So I'm wondering how, like, we may just do the June meeting for anybody who's like doing the summer learning project, so
Okay.
that it spreads it out, so that it's not like August of
Yeah.
2022 and then kind of thing. In terms of this application cycle, the applications are going to go in for a starting in fall of 2023.
Okay.
So yeah, so
Well,
it's not.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm glad you said that because I'm currently getting a master's at the University of Oklahoma in healthcare law. So I won't be done with that until the end of 2023. So hypothetically, if I were to start this HILS program, it will probably be spring 2024. So right now I should just sit back and relax.
Yeah, I would,
Okay.
I mean, honestly, you're welcome to all the things, like come
Okay.
see us, join the
Okay.
like there's a lot of things that the department does online, in terms of webinars, seminars, that kind of thing,
Okay.
that are open to the public, please.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
But we start a cohort in the fall. And it's not like there's rolling admissions or that you can take the courses asynchronously. Like, I know that
Okay.
sounds weird, but it's because the faculty who are teaching in the fall are only teaching in the fall. And they're
Oh, okay.
teaching both the online version and the residential version.
Okay.
And so it's not that so some online degree programs just run and there's not a lot of interaction. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in one right now.
Yeah, these are really interactive. So like the point that Kathy made, people were kind of struggling a little bit with some content, rightfully so, and reached out to the professor, and the professor was like, "Yay, let's meet on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern," kind of thing.
Okay.
So we work the online thing real time. During my course, things were due on Thursday and Sunday nights, so I was always grading Tuesday, Thursday, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah. I
keeping up
got
with
you.
people. Yeah.
I wanted to add
cool.
something about the travel is they do a couple of days like in a row, like on a Friday, Saturday, or they try to group them together somewhat on the weekend so that when you come, for orientation, it's a couple of days you stay in a hotel, then you fly back home. And then, months later you come back a couple of days and then you fly back home.
Okay. Perfect. That's convenient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we were trying to do. And we did, this year, we're going to stagger the institutes. So the orientation was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The next one we're going to do kind of Sunday, Monday, and then we'll do a Monday, Tuesday.
Okay. Gotcha.
So that, we're not, we will never do a Wednesday, Thursday. Like, that's just wrong.
Okay. Gotcha. And my last question, considering how prestigious University of Michigan is, a little bit of background with me. So right now I am attending the University of Oklahoma. And I just received my MBA in May at Mississippi State University. Considering those schools aren't the caliber of a U of M, are there any GPA requirements needed to get into this program in particular?
Yeah, we don't have any specific metrics that we try to hit. Meaning, we look at a candidate holistically.
Okay.
Like, you have to have had a degree, but you don't have to, I'm a big football fan, so the schools you've mentioned actually are kind of up there on my scale of things.
Okay.
But that's not fair, right? That's not appropriate metric to be admitting people. So we really, that's why we have you write those essays, right? That academic statement of purpose, and also what makes you a unique individual for this program.
Okay.
And so when
Okay.
when I talk about diversity and inclusivity in the program, I mean, we've got nurses and lawyers and physicians and drug reps, if you will, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We've got IT experts. We have people from all over the country. We have people who are focused on a specific disease process like cystic fibrosis. We have
Yeah.
folks who want to bring women's healthcare together in the state of Alaska, right? Like that
Yeah,
to me
exactly.
is all of the richness that we
Yeah.
want to bring.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so that just makes us all better. So no, and we don't require a GRE.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really about all of your experience and what, you know, and we want you to be able to succeed. So that would be the goal.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you. You guys have been great.
Yeah. Thank you for your interest. Now
Yeah,
you're
no
on our
problem.
list, Bob. We're not going to let you. We're like, fall 2024. I
No.
see you.
Well,
Happy
you
team
know,
4.
okay. Well, the thing that was so beautiful, I found this program last night actually, and I was just looking up schools because this hypothetically would be my third master's, and I was like, man, it would be awesome to bring it full circle, to come back home and get a degree from U of M. So to find this program and to see what it offered, I was like, wow, this is truly amazing, and it definitely correlates with my other degrees and my long-term goals. So yeah, this was great. So I appreciate that, ladies.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Janelle took off, but, she's now working in a law firm,
Oh, wow.
thinking
Okay.
about healthcare policy and
Yeah.
legality. So,
Yeah, that's great.
yeah, I mean, we think about the ethics of data. So we have, hi, Kathy, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Kathy.
We think about data and the ethics of data, and the one of the courses is about the right use of data and how data actually can be used nefariously, right? Because if you're not someone represented in the data set and then somebody does work on the data set, then you get further excluded from whatever, right?
Exactly.
And so, yeah, and so how do we make sure? So one of our learners actually is Native American. And some of her work is going to be around thinking about how to get electronic health records into it's called the Indian healthcare system.
Okay.
So you can't even capture Native American, expertise.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So those are the kinds of things, that we think about.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, well, I'll let you guys be. Sorry for running it a little longer. But
I love this. I'll sit here all day, but I know Angie can't and some other people can't.
Yeah.
But thanks for your interest. And in the interim, Angie's going to send out more information as well as our contact information. So
please.
feel free.
Okay,
Reach out
I'll
directly.
definitely be on the lookout. Yes.
Yeah, don't be a stranger, whatever.
Okay,
Was there anybody else who wanted to ask questions?
Yeah, hi, how are you doing? Well,
Good.
thank you. That was great presentation. So I think Bobby asked most of the questions that I want to ask because I'm doing MBA currently in EMU, but I've been working as a nurse for 16 years. So it did interest me in a lot of stuff, but I was like thinking the same, like probably trying to do the application by March and see if I got accepted by fall. It's great. I really like it. I looked through it, and that's it. I think all of the questions that Bobby asked, I was listening to him. It was there. So, but I still have like around 16 credits to be done. So I should be done by next year. So I think I would be ready by fall to start another. And that interests me a lot because.
Oh, your cat muted you. In perfect cat fashion.
I know. She likes being with me. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. And if I wanna know more about the program, I can contact you if it is possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to ask just a quick question. Is there like a transfer courses? Because most of the courses, like in the research I did and statistic, I already got them last year. Would you count them or I have to repeat them?
We'd have to see which courses and whether or not there's overlap. Because our content is so unique,
Yeah.
most often people haven't taken, the types of courses that we offer, but again, we're open to thinking about things. We have other colleagues around the university who also have online degree programs, and that some of their courses in the actually nursing, I forgot nursing, in the nursing school may be able to qualify for some of our degrees. So again, we try to be flexible, and it's kind of a case-to-case basis, but we do have guiding principles that we, try to follow.
Okay. So to find out more about it, will I contact Angela in regards to just to see where I stand and how many, because I'm trying to take it as low, take 2 courses just per semester. That way I won't extend it a lot because I don't want to finish after 6 years. So I'm trying but at the same time, I want to see how many courses and how long it's going to take me.
Yeah, definitely. Angie, did you have something you want to say? Anything else before we head out?
No, I just thank everyone for your time and all these great questions. Look forward to keeping in touch with everyone.
Yeah, likewise.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take good care.